Slag Attack Transformation Plan. Chapter 1, The Advent of the System. As the night falls, it gradually swallows up the bustling city, and the flickering neon lights reflect on the busy streets, making it a seemingly ordinary night. However, for Lee Min-jae, this night is destined to be extraordinary. Lee Min-jae was originally a ruthless scumbag, handsome and tall, and his profession is a top male star in the entertainment industry. He has everything, money, fame, status, but his heart is empty, and he never cares about love and humanity. All this until the advent of that system. Ding! The Slag Tap 009 binding system, the system starts. Lee Min-jae looked up and suddenly heard a mechanical prompt. He looked around, but saw nothing. He thought it was tinnitus, so he didn't care. However, the voice rang out one after the other, and gradually became clearer. The system is successfully bound, please select the target world and start the transformation. Lee Min-jae frowned, trying to ignore the voice, but found that he could not control his actions. As the instructions are delivered, he is dragged into a whole new world by a mysterious force. Chapter 2, The First World, the star attack who regards money as his life and the noble and arrogant Gold Lord. As soon as Lee Min-jae woke up, he found himself in a luxurious hotel suite. The surrounding decor is extravagant, with glittering chandeliers and delicate mahogany furniture. These high-end items seem to tell him that he has come to another world. Ding! Target World 1, the star attack who regards money as his life and the noble and arrogant Gold Master. Start the retrofit. Wait a minute. Lee Min-jae hurriedly interrupted the system's prompt. How did I get here? You've been randomly assigned to the first world, and you'll need to transform and resolve the victim's grudge in order to complete the mission. The system's voice was cold, without a hint of emotion. Lee Min-jae was speechless for a while, and he began to look around at this strange world, and an uneasiness rose in his heart. Soon after, there was a knock on the door. Lee Min-jae opened the door and was greeted by a young and handsome man with an indifferent face and a hint of nobility between his eyebrows. He was dressed in a well-cut suit, and his eyes were deep, as if he could read people's hearts. Are you? Lee Min-jae spoke, but suddenly realized that he looked unfamiliar, so he changed his words. You are Qian Shuiyang. The man replied coldly, with a hint of nobility and disdain in his tone. Your Gold Lord is here to check everything about you today. Lee Min-jae was shocked in his heart. He turned out to be a star attack in this world, and this indifferent man was his benefactor, Qian Shuiyang, who had countless wealth and power. At the beginning of a transactional relationship, the relationship between the two seems to have been a foregone conclusion. Lee Min-jae originally thought that he could easily cope with such a role. After all, he has always had a smooth life in the real world and has never been troubled by any feelings or relationships. However, the character of this Gold Lord and his indifference made Lee Min-jae fall into an inescapable predicament. As time passed, Lee Min-jae gradually realized that Qian Shuiyang was not as simple as he imagined. Every time they cooperate, there always seems to be some deep purpose hidden behind it, and Lee Min-jae has never been able to completely touch his heart. However, Lee Min-jae also discovered another thing, and he was not completely indifferent. Although Qian Shuiyang behaved coldly to him, Lee Min-jae gradually found that he had some irresistible feelings for this man. He began to reflect on whether this was the process of what the system called resentment resolution. With the arrival of a public event, the relationship between Lee Min-jae and Qian Shuiyang fell into a delicate balance. The two have to face each other's past and future, and this relationship will bring countless turmoil and twists. Chapter 3, The Second World, Alpha Attack with Omega and Rough Guy Beta with Self-Attack. As time passed, Lee Min-jae's mission was not over, and the system once again brought him into the second world. This time, his identity changed completely. He is no longer the glamorous star attacker, but has become an alpha attacker, resolute on the outside, but full of inferiority complex on the inside. What's even more challenging is that in this world, there is also a rough guy beta. Lee Min-jae was thrown into this world full of complex emotional entanglements, and became an alpha attack of pretending to be an omega, and his object was a self-righteous beta sufferer. Their relationship is full of contradictions and antagonisms, whether it is the gap in identity or the inner struggle, which makes this relationship particularly tricky. In this world, Lee Min-jae must learn how to overcome his inner demons and face a challenging relationship. He gradually realizes that he must defuse the hatred in the heart of this rough guy beta in order to complete the task and break the shackles of the system. Chapter 4, The Third World, The Presumptuous and Dashing Black-Bellied Man and the Affectionate and Indifferent Young Master. With each change of world, Lee Min-jae gradually developed a strong dislike for this system. He is no longer just a scum attack at the mercy of others, but has begun to find his true path. In the third world, he will face a black-bellied man and an affectionate and indifferent young master. This relationship will make him face more complex emotional entanglements. Epilogue, Repentance and Change of the Scum Attack. After experiencing the reincarnation of countless worlds, Lee Min-jae finally realized that the so-called transformation is not just to get love, but also to find his true self in the process. His heart gradually became remorseful, and he began to feel guilty and remorseful for his past scum behavior. In these changing worlds, Lee Min-jae has learned how to love people with sincerity and how to truly understand the feelings of others. In the end, he is no longer the cold-blooded scumbag, but a man who has undergone profound changes. With the completion of the task, Lee Min-jae was finally able to break away from the control of the system and become his true self. His heart, after experiencing countless twists and turns and difficulties, finally found peace and reconciliation. Chapter 5, The Frontier of the World and the Dawn of Rebirth. Lee Min-jae opened his eyes and found that he was back in the real world again. This time, he is no longer the scum full of selfishness and indifference, nor is he a man who only relies on external things to fill the emptiness in his heart. The reincarnation and change of these worlds allowed him to regain his lost self and also made him understand the true meaning of love. Ding! The task of the system was completed, the target figure was completely transformed, and the next stage was successfully solved. Suddenly, there was a system chime in my ears. Lee Min-jae was slightly stunned, and then looked down at the item in his hand, which was the evidence he had obtained in order to achieve reconciliation between himself and others after experiencing countless relationship and emotional turns. Success, Lee Min-jae's heart couldn't help but feel a warm current. He knew that his efforts had not been in vain. In these reborn worlds, he is no longer the pathetic scum who is pushed by fate. He learned how to love others, how to take responsibility for himself and others, how to reflect on his own mistakes, and how to find true balance and understanding in every relationship. His heart, from indifference and emptiness at the beginning, gradually became full of warmth and hope. But that doesn't mean his story is over. Lee Min-jae knows that although he has obtained the label of mission success, there is still a trace of uneasy emotion somewhere in his heart. What else can I do? Lee Min-jae whispered, as if he was asking himself a question. At this time, the system started again, and a cold tone came, after the mission is over, you will face the final choice. You must decide whether to return to the original world, or continue to explore a new destiny in this new life. Lee Min-jae was silent, full of thoughts. For him, it was not just a matter of choice, but a profound choice about the meaning of the whole life. He hesitated for a long time between his past regrets and the infinite possibilities of the future. Eventually, he looked up, a hint of determination flashing in his eyes. I'm not going back to the past. He whispered. Chapter 6, The Power of Change and New Beginnings. Lee Min-jae finally chose to stay in this new world and embrace a new life. In his heart, the pain and remorse of the past no longer dominated, but became the driving force for him to move forward. He no longer lives to hide from his past self, but to interact with the world with a more sincere mindset. He decided to step out of the shadows and care for others, to pursue the good things that he had neglected. In this new world, Lee Min-jae has established a more sincere connection with the people around him. He is no longer the scum who regards money as his life, nor is he an emotionally ruthless existence. He learned how to find his own balance in a complex world and how to truly love. He became actively involved in social welfare, helping the underprivileged, and gradually put his influence to the right place. He began to focus on people who were misunderstood or in trouble, and tried to make a difference in their lives. You've changed. A friend who hadn't seen him for a long time said in surprise, this is the warmth and care you didn't have before. Lee Min-jae smiled slightly, and there was a different light in his eyes. I just began to understand myself, and my experience over the years has made me understand that change is not achieved overnight, but every moment of hard work is worth cherishing. Chapter 7, True Love and the Final Challenge. However, just when Lee Min-jae began to truly enjoy this new life, he found that he was not completely free from the influence of the system. Even though he has completed his mission, changed his personality, and learned to love and be loved, he has never been able to erase a question in his heart: has he really reached the end of his life? Or will there still be more challenges? One day, he received another message from the system: you have successfully completed the transformation, but the world is still full of challenges. You will be faced with new options. This time, the choice will no longer be just a response to fate, but the ultimate torture of the true self. Lee Min-jae took a deep breath and clearly understood in his heart that this was not a simple ending. He is no longer a character who is driven by fate, but stands at the crossroads of fate as a person with choice and freedom. I'm not going to shy away from my fate anymore. He said to himself, no matter what challenges I face, I will move forward until I find my true self. Chapter 8, Finale, The Dawn of Rebirth. In the end, Lee Min-jae found his own life and love after experiencing countless rounds of challenges and trials. He is no longer a character who relies on the system and external forces, but has become the master of his own destiny. On this path of his own, he no longer regrets his past choices, nor is he afraid of the unknown future. At this moment, he truly understood that change does not happen overnight, and that the true meaning of life lies in facing every challenge bravely and embracing every possible outcome. Whatever the future holds, He has found a true source of strength and love. The story, the end. Underscore 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 un. End. Lee Min-jae's change is not only a torture of his own heart, but also a rebirth of the soul. His story teaches us that no matter how many mistakes have been made, as long as you have the courage to change, you can eventually find your true self. And this change from the bottom of the heart is the most important part of every relationship.